And we're live.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Marketing Idiots YouTube channel. And today we're going to be adding on to our series, Starting a Website from Scratch. This is part 3, the customer profiles. Last time we did the brand attributes, and now we're going to be getting into describing our customers and who we're going after and kind of creating customer avatars and profiles so we can better understand them and have an idea of how we can serve them.
Yeah, exactly. Today I think we'll be doing just like 2 customer profiles, or actually I know we'll be doing 2 because we've done this ahead of time. But obviously, if you have an established business, no matter the size, if it's like a mom and pop type thing, or if it's a big, like, I don't know, like Virgin Airlines, this is going to look very different. It's going to be more in depth, and you're probably going to have a lot more customer profiles. But since we're just kind of starting out from scratch, and there's really not that many moving parts to this type of business, we're just going to keep it short and sweet, and yeah.
Yeah, one nice thing is we've pre-written out these, so we don't have to watch you write each word out, and we'll be
Yeah, which I
revealing them
think
along the way.
is pretty similar to in the past videos has been pretty similar to torture, both for the people watching and for me writing this real time. Of course, probably still not going to be able to read what I'm actually writing, but at least you don't have to watch me write every single letter.
Yeah, we did a dry run. I think it adds a cool little effect to the
Yeah,
video as well. So I liked it. Yeah,
absolutely.
let's jump into it then. The first one that we came up with was the Pinterest mom, the suburban mom, you could call her,
Hmm.
the soccer mom maybe. And yeah, what do you think her demographics are?
Right. So for demographics, I think we talked a bit about her being probably suburban, maybe native to New Jersey or something like that. Um, she's obviously married with children, hence the mom part. Probably going to be middle class, have a bit of disposable income. Um, we'll get into some of the specifics of her interest and that kind of stuff later on in the backstory. Um, But yeah, we talked about her age, probably around early 40s, maybe late 30s. We decided on 42. Yeah, I think that's it for the demographics. And what comes after the demographics is the kind of backstory, or what her problems are that we can
And
then try to solve for her.
yeah, and before we go any further, if you guys haven't seen the previous videos, this is for our website, and the website's going to be growing herbs at home, just so you have a little context if you haven't seen any of the other videos. But
Oh
I'll
yeah,
let you
yeah. Otherwise,
continue,
this would
John.
be
Yeah, you might. So I
pretty.
was just thinking, like, people who haven't seen any of the other videos are like, well, yeah, what are we creating a customer profile for?
Yeah.
A little a little bit of a context. It's for a website that's going to be producing content to inform people of how they can grow herbs or plants in home gardens, basically, or
Yep.
not home gardens, but interior in-home gardens inside
Right. Yeah.
inside their house.
I think
Yeah,
that's enough for you of your around.
that's right.
Right. So the backstory. So she's into DIY, and I think I misspelled this. Yep. But whatever. She's into DIY stuff. She reads a lot of mom blogs. She's into kind of interior decoration. What else did we have on this? Um,
Uh, she wants to grow her own garden.
mhm.
Trying to read your writing there. She also doesn't have a lot of time on her hands. She's probably busy. She has a family, obviously, so she's gonna want something that's I guess that
Right.
gets into the needs. So
Yeah. Which,
she
as luck
yeah.
would have it, we've got the needs right here.
And the
So,
next one is low maintenance. She's gonna want a low maintenance solution,
mhm.
and yeah, since she does read some of those those mom blogs and is an amateur interior decorator, then she's going to want aesthetically appealing solutions.
Yeah,
What
she
else
doesn't
is
want some
there?
ugly, huge installation in her living room. Has to be neat
Right.
and pretty. Yeah.
Right.
What else?
What else?
But yeah, she's obviously, she's into DIY, reads mom blogs. We didn't actually write that she uses Pinterest, but she uses Pinterest in case the nickname that we gave for her wasn't enough of a tell. So she wants like visuals for Pinterest that she can use in her boards and sharing with her with her friends. Um, yes, what else? She also wants to kind of, what was this next one? I don't remember why we wrote this down. Product many, like a
I'm
variety to
searching
choose
too.
from.
I was gonna let you kind of decipher that hieroglyphics
Yeah, you
there.
were gonna put that on me, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I do know the last one though. Since she has some friends and she's circles
Mm.
around with other moms, then she might want to show some of these things off, or
Yeah, it's a
it
bit
is
of a
going to be a little bit of a
status thing.
status symbol.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And showing them that she's, just kind of this almost facade. I don't know. But like making her friends from the neighborhood a little bit jealous and, oh wow, she's such a great mom and she's such a great wife and she does all of these cool things and she's growing her own stuff and blah blah blah, you know? Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's it for the needs, I think. And yep, indeed, we've got how to meet her needs and exceed them, is the next one.
Right. Yeah. And so when we were thinking about this, we started thinking that it's probably going to be a good way for her to also connect with her kids
Yeah,
and
make it a bit of an activity.
right, getting back to the DIY
Mhm.
aspect of it. And so that could potentially mean that we're going to need to make infographics and
Well,
checklists
I think
and
the
guides.
infographics was for the mostly for like the social media stuff like Pinterest, but definitely the next
The
one. And
share.
I'm sorry for
Right. No, that makes sense.
ruining your your
I don't
reason
know
there.
anything. Uh, yeah.
But yeah, the checklists and guides I think is a good kind of something that she can print out and and kind of use when she's doing stuff with her kids or even if it's just on her own, just something that she can follow along with and kind of check the boxes.
And designed content, all just
Hmm.
kind of tying in the aesthetic appeal
Yeah,
together. So
she's obviously
she's
a
also
very
going to
kind
want to
of
read
visual
a blog
person.
that looks good.
Hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely. And it has to appeal to her kind of aesthetic sensibilities, which are going to be different from, if this was kind of a 25-year-old gym bro, then um, what we mean by designed content is pretty different.
Yeah.
All right. So the next um, customer profile is the yuppie couple. What do we know about these
Yeah. So
people?
we kind of imagine them living in Seattle, maybe
Hmm.
somewhere in the range of 29 or 30.
Yeah, I think like
And
the girl in the relationship is maybe 29 and the guy 30, something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy's older and she's younger.
Hmm.
Um, and they're newly engaged or maybe have been in a relationship for a while. They're probably have moved in together. And one of them is maybe she works in a PR firm or as a publicist. And we imagined him being a chef. And
Yep.
then, yeah, the last one here,
They live in a
you're
big
going to have
city,
to help me
obviously.
out on
Like,
that one, John.
yeah, yeah. Obviously, Seattle is
I
a big city, but what I was trying to get across is they live they live downtown, basically. They're not suburban.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't have a backyard or anything like that. They
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
have a
They live.
balcony
Yeah, maybe they
or
have like a condo or they're subletting or something, but they live in an apartment in probably a pretty hip part of town. but it's not, they don't have a ton of space. Right. So when it comes to their backstory, what is their problem? Well, first of all, they're hip
So
professionals, which, could could potentially be a problem, I guess. But it's more just a, part of the backstory.
yeah,
Um,
well,
yeah, they have a big social circle, and they often
yep.
host, dinner parties. Obviously, the guy being a chef, he likes to cook, and she's into that sort of thing as well. Um, they're into organic produce and kind of locally sourced, um, that kind of thing. Very socially conscious. Probably voted Bernie Sanders. Anyway.
And moving right along to their needs, since they
I
are
can just feel
hosting
myself.
dinner
Oh no, I
parties.
shouldn't have said
That's all right. Moving right along.
that. Right.
Yeah, they
We don't need to stereotype these people too much.
that's right.
But their needs, yeah. What are their needs, Nick?
Yeah, so they're growing their own produce since they're
Hmm.
hosting dinner parties and he's a chef. Then
Yeah. But they
yeah,
need to do it within a very confined space.
right. They're also going to want a variety of produce, so multiple solutions potentially, not just one. It's actually going to need to be functional and have the ability to provide them with a lot of different herbs.
Yeah,
And
herbs, tomatoes, whatever.
yeah, since they're hip and conscious, then they're definitely going to be comparing
Hmm.
these products and comparing features and we'll probably go into a little bit more research than the Pinterest mom.
Yeah,
So that's something that we're gonna have to be aware of.
yeah.
And then the
Another need
last
is for them to
one,
keep alive, which doesn't mean what it looks like it means. But they'll probably be traveling quite a bit. They don't want to be kind of tied down to their um, to Seattle and to their apartment all the time, before they've kind of they haven't really settled down yet, or established a family. So being able to travel and having that freedom, I think, is going to be important to them. And so they need a way to keep their plants alive when they're traveling.
yeah, that leads us into the last one, which is
Hmm.
how can we exceed their
Yeah, how can
expectations here.
we meet their needs, and how can we exceed their expectations?
Yeah, so since they're going to want a variety of produce, then they're going to want to be comparing different features, and so we thought maybe some comparison tables
Hmm.
and guides that actually compare the technical features or the different aspects of these products that we're going to be informing
Yeah,
them about.
gonna have to be a bit more in
And
depth.
yeah, exactly. Which also leads us to the next one, advanced solutions. And that's what we were thinking with keeping the plants alive. Maybe there's going to be some modifications that they'll need to make to the product or set up some sort of solution for
Right.
that to happen.
Hmm.
And
Or
yeah,
being
that's
able to
that.
grow like different stuff. Maybe, some of these things that they want to grow, you're not really, typically you wouldn't be able to, but maybe if you do some kind of modification or some kind of DIY hack, maybe you can make it work.
Right, or just telling them point blank about which herbs are going to last, or which herbs
Hmm.
can live on low water or can
Yeah,
live without a lot of maintenance. And
exactly.
yeah, and that leads to detailed content
Hmm.
and being well informed. They're gonna know, if this guy is reading it and he's a chef, he's gonna know a little bit about plants, obviously, and herbs that he's going to be using in cooking. So we can't bullshit him. We'll have to be authentic and well informed with our writing.
Yep, definitely. We also thought about maybe video content, in order to kind of make these advanced solutions a bit easier to implement. Creating or curating even other people's video content, is definitely something that we could do to serve them. Because obviously, if you're trying to do something advanced, maybe a just text guide isn't gonna cut it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And yeah, it doesn't mean, like you said, it can be curated. These people are limited on time. They're not going to have a lot of time to search the internet. So there's nothing wrong with spending a few hours to bring them the best, content that's already out there. If that's means that you can't make a video, there's nothing wrong with curating it.
Yeah, and maybe filling in a couple of the holes or explaining things that are going on in the video, just adding some type of value on top of it, I think is a completely viable and valid strategy. All right. Well, I think we've got enough for these two customer profiles. Obviously, this is very short and kind of just scratching the surface, but since we don't really have that much customer info or consumer info or feedback, we just wanted to keep it kind of basic while still writing this stuff out so that we know who we're actually going to be writing for and creating the website for. And obviously this is going to be subject to multiple runs of revision down the line once we have a better understanding of the space that we'll be working in. But yeah, I think for, if you have an established business or an established website, you probably have a much better and clear idea of who's actually in your audience and who's buying your products. And so creating these is a lot easier and a lot more, I think, beneficial as well, because it gives you a lot of clarity around what products to be creating, what things to be talking about.
Yeah, the big takeaway for me here is just the thought pattern, right? Going from starting with the demographics, outlining the problems, figuring out what their needs are, and then you end up with the exceeding their needs, which is kind of like where you get what you're going to be focusing on. It's an interesting way to go about it, and definitely one way. I think we came up with a couple of things on that list that I wouldn't have thought of if I were just to sit down and say, how can I write up how can I create a blog that's going to talk about growing herbs, So
right. Yeah, I think we surfaced some interesting stuff with, the Pinterest mom being very visually, a very visual person, and so the need to kind of create some kind of more appealing design for that end, and then obviously the couple and their specific needs. I think yeah, some good kind of
you can see how this is a much more organic way of bringing the content to people, rather than just saying, oh, I've heard that SEO people tell me I need to add checklists to my blog post. Well, it's like, why? And so when you do these, you can see that, hey, a checklist would serve this type of person over someone else. It's not because some SEO guy told me that I need checklists or I need to add videos to my blog posts. It's like, why do you need to do that? And that
you're ensuring that you're focusing on the right things, both in terms of content and in terms of branding and design of the website.
Exactly. It gives you a holistic approach. So when you start to sit down to create that content, what you need to do to serve the people that you're trying to help.
Yep, absolutely. Anyway, with that being said, I think we should probably wrap things up.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was a solid video, and hopefully you guys agree. Let us know what you think. And as always, check us out on marketingidiots.co, that's .co, and sign up for the newsletter and subscribe.
Yeah.
Get a like, share it, and subscribe.
Smash that.
I have to get my
button.
Smash it, exactly. I'm gonna have to get my intro down a little bit better, but until next time, John.
We need to shout more and be louder, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. On the next episode. All right.
All right. See you guys later.